Are you listening?
Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Report, your go-to source for all the week's gaming news. Nerf down into one show once a week, so you can worry less about reading the news and get back to playing those video games. And if you think that sounds awesome, make sure to support the channel by hitting that subscribe button and checking out all of the other gaming-related content that we post on this channel. And of course, on this week's episode, with Sony announcing the end of the PlayStation Vita, we take a quick second to mourn our fallen brethren, along with looking into the future of PlayStation portability. But before we talk about any of that, here are your top headlines. Happy March, folks. February is finally over, which means for the subscription services like PlayStation Now and Xbox Game Pass, we've got a brand new month of games to talk about. For the month of March, Sony will be adding 9 new games to PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now subscribers can look forward to playing Battlefield 4, Black Knight Swords, A Bastard's Tale, Black Mirror, Mirror's Edge, Pac-Man Championship Edition 2, NBA 2K18, Pool Nation, and WWE 2K18. Coming to the Xbox Game Pass on March 6th is Lego Batman 2 and the brand new Destruction Simulator, Just Cause 4. And of course, on March 14th, the racing game F1 2018 and Bethesda's Fallout 4 will become available for Xbox Game Pass subscribers. Nintendo Labo was in the news this week. That's right, Nintendo's cardboard accessory has had moderate success in the market, but the latest addition to Labo brings the Nintendo Switch into the world of virtual reality. The Nintendo Labo VR kit will launch on April 12th. Now, the VR kits will be sold in 2 options: the starter blaster kits with expansions sold separately, or the full package VR kit. Labo owners can experience being an elephant, using cameras, flying as a bird with wind pedals, firing blasters, and other various VR experiences exclusively through Nintendo Labo. EA dropped a bombshell this week, and honestly, at this point, I'm losing track of all the controversy, so let me check the list of outrage real quick. Let's see. BioWare breaking consoles, no. Anthem, no. Apex, no. No Gungans in Battlefront 2, no. Here it is. EA will not be holding an E3 press conference. In a press release on EA.com, EA announced that this year's Play event, which traditionally takes place the weekend before E3, which in the past has always held a press conference introducing new games and exciting updates. However, for this year, EA will be skipping the press conference completely. EA wrote, "We're skipping the press conference this year and are replacing it with multiple live streams that will air during the first 2 days of the event, bringing you more of what you've told us you want. More gameplay and insight from the teams making the game." And finally for this week, PlayStation introduced 7 brand new games coming to the PlayStation 4 through its China Hero project. Now, if you're not aware, the China Hero Project is a video game development program for the PlayStation platform. The program supports startup Chinese game developers and assists them in creating these games for the Chinese and global markets. The China Hero Project is also supported by CRI Middleware, Digital Hearts, Silicon Studios, Streamline Studios, Wacom, Unity Technologies, and Epic Games. And this week, Sony Interactive Entertainment held a press conference in Beijing in which they began to introduce some of the first games to launch from the program. Games like New Year's Eve Pisces UPie, which will be sold in Western countries as Immortal Legacies: The Jade Cipher, along with Hardcore Mech, which is a mech battle platformer which features both a 7-hour single-player mode with the option of multiplayer. Both of these games will be coming to the PlayStation 4 very soon. Now, the conference also introduced 7 games that are still in development. Games like Fist in Nightmare, Anno Mutationum, Evotinction, Range Lost Islands, Convolaria, and AI Limit.
Now for something completely different. Yeah.
The PlayStation Vita, otherwise known as the portable console that could. Except in this story, instead of the train making its way to the top of the mountain, the PlayStation Vita is dead. The Vita was a groundbreaking piece of hardware, as at launch it featured an OLED multi-touch touchscreen, shoulder buttons, Bluetooth support, Wi-Fi support with an optional 3G package, 2 joysticks, and a quad-core ARM Cortex-A9 processor. Now, during its time on the market, the PlayStation Vita was home to notable games like Gravity Rush, Persona 4 Golden, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, Uncharted Golden Abyss, and Little Big Planet. And from a sales perspective, the PlayStation Vita was fairly successful, with an estimated 15 million units sold worldwide. Now, of course, that number fails in comparison with its primary competitor, the Nintendo 3DS, which sold an estimated 74 million units worldwide. But of course, now we also have the Nintendo Switch, which in its first 2 years has sold 32.27 million units worldwide. So this week, it was no surprise that after years of threatening to do it, Sony discontinued the final 2 SKUs for the PlayStation Vita, marking the end of the PlayStation Vita as we know it. Which honestly is kind of a bummer, because the Vita wasn't bad. I mean, even with today's standards, it was a good portable console. It just never saw the support that it deserved. I mean, a prime example of this is with the launch of the PlayStation 4. Remote play through the PlayStation Vita was announced, which meant Infamous Second Son, Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, even Destiny. Any game that you were playing on your PlayStation 4, you could digitally transfer the gameplay to your Vita and play on the go. This was a huge feature that PlayStation rarely touted in the marketplace, and for many Vita owners, that feature alone justified owning a Vita. Which brings us to the next obvious question, well, what is the future for PlayStation Portable? Well, last year we saw the patent filings by PlayStation for a new electronic game cartridge, and the year before that we saw Sony file a patent for a Switch-like handheld with a large screen and 2 controllers on either side of the screen. But personally, I think that the answer is much more obvious than we might think. In fact, for many of you watching this right now, you might be holding the next PlayStation Portable in your hand right now. That's right, I'm talking about your phone. Hopefully you don't have something else in your hand right now. I mean, let's face it, the technology already exists. The idea of playing games anywhere at any time and not being tethered to your couch or your console, that has always been the dream of PlayStation Portability. You see, the future of PlayStation Portable, it's not about hardware. It's about availability. It's about service, and it's about functionality. Imagine opening up a PlayStation app on your phone, seeing your console interface, selecting the game that you want to play, and playing it wherever you are. Imagine exploring the worlds of Horizon Zero Dawn while you hike through the woods, defeating countless Heartless with Donald and Goofy while you're sitting at the airport, all through the cloud and all playable on your phone. Now, the best part of that idea is that it's already here. In fact, this week, Sony launched a brand new firmware update for the PlayStation 4 that brings remote play features to iOS devices. And I'll be the first to admit, it's not perfect. You know, the remote play app requires you to use digital buttons, and right now there isn't any support or Bluetooth support, so you can use your DualShock 4. And it can only be used over your local Wi-Fi, so you can't use it with your cellular network. But the fact that this technology exists, you gotta face the fact that it's only gonna get better. So we are right now entering into a future where Sony no longer needs to rely on hardware. In fact, what if that patent that they filed 2 years ago, what if we were looking at that completely wrong? Perhaps that tablet is ours and all they're patenting is the actual digital controllers that connect right next to it. Imagine if any device that you carry with you could immediately become a Nintendo Switch. And through a digital service, you could literally play every PlayStation 4 game that you own. Now that is an exciting future. And finally for this week, we come to that noise, of course, signifies that we are running out of time and coming close to the end of the show. So in order to cover all the week's remaining news, we must initiate a segment that I like to call Every single week we have so much news to talk about and so little time to do it. So we take all the week's remaining news, put 60 seconds on the clock, and try to cover it as fast as humanly possible without running out of breath, passing out, or dying. So with that in mind, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. And go. Trine 4 was announced this week, and it will be launching late 2019 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. I cannot wait for that game. Apex Legends has officially hit 50 million total players. Congratulations to everyone that worked on that game. Speaking of Apex, a new hero and the Season 1 Battle Pass are rumored to launch on March 12th, which is right around the corner. Death Stranding has fallen behind schedule. PUBG's Erangel map is being remastered. Beat Saber, another one of my favorite games, is getting new music packs on March 14th. Man, I'm gonna have no money this month. Turok is coming to the Nintendo Switch. New Zoom Analytical estimates that 2.4 billion people will play mobile games on their phone this year. That is crazy. Halo Infinite is confirmed on coming to the Xbox One along with PC, and H1Z1 is officially changing its name to Z1 Battle Royale. That is it for Nerfed in 60 seconds, and that is it for this week's episode of the show. If you like what you saw, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and possibly, share it with your friends, if that's okay. As always, my name is Bryant Chappell. You are you, and this has been the Nerf Report. Thanks for watching.